Complete sequence 1 and 2.
Now, I feel like in other games, after you get past the first 2 sequences, usually that's where they let you off the leash.
Well, in Assassin's Creed 2, the first sequences are like you've already assassinated several people at that point.
We freed the Mohawk prisoners from captivity. I had hoped their leader might make contact, but there's been only silence. My men grow restless. They want to know what comes next, and I do not have an answer. Lee alone remains active, pursuing leads, however slight. He stalks the city streets and scouts the bordering woods, hopeful that he might make contact with one of those
Want a monologue?
There was a woman.
No,
there
but
that night.
we gotta load in all this shit first.
If we can find her, I believe.
I would much rather this be a cutscene.
Yeah.
So, I watch.
Even if it was just like him reading, like writing into a diary,
Hopeful
it would
that
be
my true
something.
mission
Yeah.
might finally begin.
Like the Animus doesn't do narration like this.
No.
Unless there was like a point where where Hatham was in like his bedroom monologuing to himself at night.
Yeah. he's just standing there talking to himself, like.
It's like the whole idea is that we're reliving his memories. Hey, it's Charles Lee.
What up, Charlie?
Hello, Charles. Any luck finding our mystery woman?
Word is she's been stirring up trouble just outside the city in a town called Lexington.
Well, then that's where we'll begin our search. I'll meet you there.
I'm gonna finish this fucking bottle before I go.
It's like, yeah, I'll be right with you. Just, I'm gonna drink the rest of this.
I could chase an almanac page. However, follow me on this. No.
What good did those fucking pages do
I have
for you?
100% of this game before. I have no desire to do it a second time.
Fucking Christ. Imagine 100%ing this game.
I did it. I did it before. I just don't...
Why?
Because that was back in my trophy hunting days.
You know what? Fair. God, this game originally came out when because I forget.
It was 2012 because the Mine Apocalypse.
Right.
Remember, the Mine Apocalypse was a big like plot point in Assassin's Creed, so this had to come out in 2012.
As well as like they were. What was it? I think there was a movie that came out simply called 2012. And
I believe that, yeah.
I still remember thinking to myself, having recently turned 30 and worried about what I was going to do for work, and thinking to myself, there's no way the world's going to end in 2012 because then I wouldn't have to worry about looking for a job anymore.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I was in a fucking place at that time.
And then 4 years later, 2016 happened.
Yeah. 2016 did happen.
That was 9 years ago.
A way better year. Yeah, October 30th, 2012 was when this came out. This is... That makes this like a 13-year-old game.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about.
Something, since we're doing one viewpoint real quick, something I've heard a lot of people talk about with 3, and something I think is an interesting point, is that because early America was a pioneer town, like a pioneer, like, colonialists, like, setting.
Yeah.
You don't have many or any tall buildings in this game.
Uh-huh.
Because there was not enough time in world history for tall buildings to start existing in this
Nope.
context.
You didn't have the ability to build such things either. I mean,
Yes, like these are all like small, like 2-3 story buildings tops.
and I remember that was like a point of contention with this game.
Right.
Um,
Because we compare it to like Venice, or Rome, or Constantinople.
yeah.
Even Syria in AC1.
Yeah.
You don't get that, like, you don't get the, 'cause part of what makes Assassin's Creed so fun is, like, the climbing. Climbing tall buildings, running across rooftops. You don't really get that sense of verticality in this game that you did in previous Assassin's Creed games, largely because of the setting. Like, they can't.
Right.
They literally cannot.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if this guy's anything worth killing him for. I see a pickpocket, and he's on the way to our objective, so...
You could probably take him down non-lethally.
No. No, we chose not to do that.
Yeah. Fuck that. I just randomly decided to look into potentially, it's like, you know, okay, if I wanted to buy the older Assassin's Creed games, like the first one, obviously I would probably just get it on PC, and
Yeah, there's no, like, you couldn't get it on a console.
no. I love how, like, on the Steam page for the very first one it says, requires a dual-core processor or better.
Yes.
Check the system requirements before purchasing.
So, as someone who played Assassin's Creed 1 on the PC within the past year, something you should keep in mind is that that version of the game was pinging out to a server
Yep.
all the time. That server no longer exists.
Nope.
So, unless you do as I did and block that IP from your router
Uh-huh.
in your network settings in your PC, you will not be able to play at anything higher than 10 frames per second.
Yeah, just... Again, something that's probably not a difficult fix, but it's stupid to have to do that. Because I can remember, like, at that time, yeah, and, like, looking at the page,
Yeah, I remember the
2008.
combat now.
Like, 2008, there was something about... Companies just thought that, like, the worst DRM just wasn't good enough.
We are talking about Ubisoft specifically, too, which is
Yes.
worth mentioning. Because Ubisoft was particularly bad when it came to DRM in this era. Assassin's Creed, I don't know if you remember the famous story about Assassin's Creed 2's DRM.
I don't.
It was when they started mandating Uplay in their PC games.
Okay. And I could see how, like, at least these days they try to do things like, no, we'll give you like costumes and all kinds of shit.
Well, these
but-
days they just do Steam.
Well, they do
Because they've announced with Shadows they're going to do Steam and nothing else because they realized that people don't want to use Uplay. All right, we're on the frontier now.
with all the
It's a lot of
Where all
walking
the
to do
trees
for
and
this section of the
bushes.
game.
Like, and the thing is, the idea of doing assassin parkour shit out in the woods,
They had to redesign the system to allow for it.
Yeah, like, I thought that was kind of cool,
Yeah.
especially because, you know, as someone who adores Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater,
Yeah.
and especially with that re-release coming soon, remake, I don't know, like, I really dug being able to run around out in the fucking wilderness.
I am fond of it myself. I think the region they have you explore may be a bit too big.
Yeah.
I think especially coming after the Ezio games, where the maps were very condensed in comparison. Like, they started making bigger maps, and it started becoming more and more a problem as the series went on. And this is where that starts to get a little. The maps start to get a little too massive. Too
yes. Yeah, I can agree with that, especially because it's like the argument about what is better, like having a big, large, open space.
So something I do like, though, is that Haytham does not have wilderness parkour.
No.
He's a city boy.
Yeah?
I do like that they lock that behind Connor.
He ain't climbing trees.
That Haytham cannot climb trees, but Connor can. I think that's a pretty cool little touch. But you were saying...
He's way more comfortable climbing fucking buildings and shit.
He's a city boy! Alright, hey, it's Charles Lee.
Have you found her?
She's made camp not too far from here.
Excellent. Well, the sooner we're done, the sooner we can get out of this cold.
Alright. Let's,
We'll move faster on. I'm afraid I have
Ooh,
some
we get to
bad
ride
news,
horses.
sir.
Yes.
Braddock is insisting I return to service under him. I've tried to
God,
beg off,
the
to
whole
no avail.
fucking email
No doubt he's
indicator. It's like,
still
you got
angry
another
about
email?
losing Pitcairn.
You want to check your fucking
To say
mail?
nothing of
I'm
the
sure I
training
will at
we
some
gave him.
point.
Like,
Do as he
no.
asks. In the meantime, I'll
Like-
work on having you released.
Like, I'm
sorry for the trouble.
Not
busy
your fault.
trying to, like, because that was also the thing of, like, especially in the setting where it's like, as Desmond,
Yes.
and it's like,
We're too late.
we have
Eyes
got
only
to
just been
get
snuffed.
shit
It's no
done
reason to be
now,
disturbed. She's
less
close.
the fucking world, and I don't it's like, I've got to go through this crap, like,
Onyx.
These tracks are fresh.
I do like the modern day stuff
It
in
must be hers.
Assassin's Creed. So, like,
Seems she took to higher ground.
I've
They're-
always been in.
Out of
I've
the
always
snow and
like.
into the tree.
I have been a Desmond defender, and I will still be a Desmond defender, even though the Revelation
Desmond
shit
stuff,
sucks.
yeah, the stuff with Desmond was the most interesting.
Yeah,
It was just really hard to give a shit after that, though.
yeah. Because the thing that Ubisoft seems to realize too late is that what Desmond was doing, what Desmond's purpose was to give a connective tissue that tied the room together.
Mm-hmm.
You can do all of these various things throughout history because you have this anchor point of Desmond Miles being the focal point, the one that all of this comes back to in the end.
Right. Yeah.
And when they got rid of Desmond, they didn't have a good, suitable replacement.
Nope.
Which I guess spoiler alert for the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Our game we
This-
established was like 13 years old.
yeah. Like, the future of this franchise was actively worse for not having a character like him, and that's why they eventually made a new one in Origins, a new protagonist to follow.
Yeah, like it was like, we don't want to be daisy chained to Desmond. And then it's like, okay, he's done. Now what? Oh shit.
Yeah, that was also the problem. Is that like the story was not meant to go beyond the 2012 apocalypse.
No.
So they had to figure out a way to solve that problem as well.
And granted, like the boon for a franchise being like, well, these assassins and Templars have been going at each other throughout history. There are so many things we could do throughout various time periods. And that's cool. But that's where I'm like, drop the fucking modern day Animus shit. You've not been able to do anything cool with that since Desmond.
I think the Layla stuff hasn't been too bad, although, like, it is still trying to scramble from a position. They're still trying to scramble from a position of, like, we don't know what we're doing. We didn't have a plan this far ahead.
No, it's sell next product, build excitement for next product, consume new product. Like, that whole thing. Like, God, and I completed Origins as well. And I keep fucking forgetting about Layla.
Well, that is the other problem with the modern stuff, because they're coward. They cowered it out. There's no other way around it. Like when Assassin's Creed 1 was released, you had a Desmond chapter after every Altair chapter.
Right.
And they weren't very long. They were like maybe 5 minutes tops.
Yeah, it was you walking around as you were literally being held prisoner in Abstergo.
Yes. But that was apparently 5 minutes too much for the lunkhead gamer.
Yeah.
I have no better description
cowards.
for that. And because of that, like Ubisoft did focused less and less on the modern day stuff as the games went on, and that was much to their detriment. That was much to their to the games are worse for it. That is my ardent belief.
And granted, like, and they did like a bunch of shit with 4, where you, the developer, walking around fucking Abstergo offices with your fucking tablet and all of that horse shit.
Abstergo Entertainment in Legendary Lands.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
They made a card for the game dev studio in Magic the Gathering.
Of course they did. Why the fuck wouldn't they?
Why the fuck wouldn't they, indeed? I have no idea where the objective is.
God, I'm trying to think. Like, it's been forever since I completed Origins, and like, you know, I remember Bayek. Like, Bayek and the adventures with him.
Bayek of Siwa.
Yeah, I can still recall all that cool shit, and
this is not part of it. This is the mission area. Where the fuck am I? Where is this mysterious woman in this spear? Come on, give me something to work with, man.
Where indeed? Like, it's like there's nothing marked on your map. You just gotta fucking find some footprints, or
I guess. Well, let's restart from the checkpoint. See if there's a clue where the checkpoint was.
Just fuck this. Because I didn't even realize what you were doing.
I'm looking for the mysterious woman that we freed.
Oh man,
It must be hers.
These
Seems she
tracks
took the
are
higher
fresh.
Out of
It
the
must be
snow and into the
hers.
trees.
Do you see any fucking tracks here? What fucking tracks are you talking about, my man?
yeah, because when like nothing even shows up in Eagle Vision, you know there's a problem.
Oh, these tracks? Is this what we're following? Okay, let's work with this.
Okay.
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 These tracks. Okay, there's a divot in the snow.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think that says something about how, like, 4 games prior to this, the game has pretty much trained you as someone that, like, let's say you are somebody that has
'Cause I
played
played those games very recently.
Yes. That, like, when the game tells you look for footprints, your immediate instinct is
Eagle
I
vision.
turn on eagle vision and I look for the glowy footsteps.
Literally, yes.
That is what that game has trained you to do.
Exactly.
Damn it. Wait.
Good
come
one,
back.
Charlie boy.
Yeah, with your fucking
You return to
guns.
Braddock, Charles, before he grows suspicious. I can handle things from here.
But sir,
But nothing. Go. Stop running. I only wish to
But
talk.
sir, but nothing. Get the fuck out of here.
I am not your enemy. Please just hear me out.
Yeah, as you gotta
Yeah.
watch her
Watch her
Going
do her
God,
thing.
woman, only let me speak.
doing tree parkour.
Because you can't tree parkour yet.
Enough with these games.
Uh-oh.
I just killed like 3 of these things in the wilderness.
Uh-huh.
Just like that. Yes.
God, yeah. These fucking QTEs.
Yeah.
I used to hate... I hated this too.
It's fine. It's just like... It's whatever. It's whatever. It's just another cutscene.
What the fuck ever.
It's not even hard. It's just it's the same 2 buttons over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find the mysterious woman. Of course she ran away.
Well, maybe if there's another divot in the snow.
There is not. Because she's parkouring now.
Uh-huh. Or if there's something glowing up in the trees. Oh.
Different
Alright.
button this time.
Ah, they switched it up on you.
They did. Oh, she's still up there. I have the parkour up there. I think.
You try my patience, woman.
Or not.
And this conveniently made deer stand. Or tree stand, whatever you want to call it. Hunters use that shit.
Yeah.
Don't lose her.
We catching up with her.
Are you touched in the head?
Are you touched in the head?
Haytham. I come in peace.
Why are you speaking so slow?
Sorry.
I
What do you
love
want?
that. It's like
Well,
Why are you
Juan.
speaking so slow?
I'm Gadzit Zio.
Pleased to meet you.
especially when he
That's
talked
the-
with her
Just call me Zio.
on the fucking cart
Zio.
of like, yeah, my word, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Now tell me why it is you're here.
Now,
like, you know, I'm gonna-
to Ubisoft's credit, they actually did get Native American people to
Where did you get
speak,
this?
to play these
From an old
characters.
friend.
which
I've only seen.
it's
such
good
mountains
that
in
they
my
were
life
smart enough to
place.
get someone to
Where?
consult on this. Like,
Yes.
Well, it is forbidden for me to speak of it.
I saved your people. Does this mean nothing to you?
it just reminds me of
Look.
I need
I
to
am
look up the
not
title
the
of this
enemy.
movie. Let's see.
Close to here, there is a hill. Meet me there, and we'll see if you speak the truth.
Yeah, so they actually did get Native American people to play these characters.
Right. So there's a movie I was reminded of, came out in 2002 with Nicolas
town holds
Cage,
soldiers who seek to drive my
called
people
Wind
from these
Talkers.
They're led by a
And
man known as the Bulldog.
what this movie is
Edward Braddock.
You know him?
in World War
He's no
II.
friend of mine.
one of the tactics that the
Every
American
day
Army
more of my people
used
are lost to men like him.
as like code
suggest we
to
put a stop to
keep
it.
to
Together.
keep enemies from understanding what they were saying.
Yeah,
What
that
do you
was a very
propose?
common tactic
That
in
we
the,
kill
in,
Edward
in the
Braddock.
wars, in the World War.
They had Navajo
First,
soldiers
We have to find him.
that knew Navajo language.
That's why that
and-
character is called Code Talker in Phantom Pain.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause he's a native Navajo and speaks Navajo. That's
Which
he's
is a
code
good movie. I
talker.
recommend.
I don't trust
Which
you.
is a good movie. I recommend it.
I know,
Yet you
It is
remain.
called Wind Talkers
but I might prove you
from
wrong.
2002.
It
Oh,
will
I'm
not
sure.
happen.
Yeah, I'm sure Kojima watched that.
So you say.
So I know.
Yet, I
We gotta
remain.
kill the general. We gotta kill Matthew, or we gotta kill Braddock, the general that we pissed off earlier with Charles Lee.
And
He's
for those
he's enslaving the people.
slaves, that's not good. The
Trying to
order
enslave
should
the
deal.
Native Americans and force them off the land.
Remember, the order thinks slaves are
Wait
bad.
here.
You just keep that in
A
mind.
Mohawkman is likely to raise suspicions, if not muskets.
This is hardly the first time I've been amongst your people. I can handle myself.
I hope so.
Like, I can handle myself, white man. Like,
Yeah.
Stand being quartered there.
but
the endless crashing of
to
the
clarify,
waves,
for those wondering,
stinging
no,
salt in
Nicolas
the eyes,
Cage was
and
not
the
speaking
goddamn
Navajo
gulls
in a
shrieking and
fucking
shitting
movie about
everywhere.
this.
You're sure
No,
that's where
he
we
was
go,
an
aren't
American
they?
soldier
Bulldogs putting together
protecting
another
his
expedition.
Navajo
That's
code
what they're
talker
calling them
soldier
now.
companion.
Expeditions. Aye.
So, just
Smart,
so
too.
people are aware.
Slap a fancy name on something
Who was
and
played
all
by
evil
Native
is
American actors.
excused.
So,
Another cool thing is that Mohawk tradition dictates that when someone gets a name, no one else ever gets the same name.
Move on our positions.
There is no duplicate
Wonder what
names
Braddock
amongst the
intends to
Mohawk
do
people.
about it.
So
He's already left for the advanced camp. I'll wager our little holiday
Connor's
is
Native
suspended.
American name,
We'll be
Raduna
marching
Kedu.
south before week's end.
yeah,
There is no other person. There's no other person in the Mohawk tribe that has that name. There
I
will
remember
never
the
be
game-
anyone in the Mohawk tribe that has that name.
I remember the game pronouncing it as Ranaha Kaden.
Yeah.
And there was another dude, Kanan Dolkon. Like it's
Yeah.
Oi!
And I already forget how the fucking mom's name is pronounced because I have the stream muted. Because
Also,
the other
other fun fact:
Well,
the character's
I was
card
listening.
in Magic the Gathering set, they do not use Connor.
Now,
They use his Native American name as his
I'm going to feed you your
card's name.
teeth.
makes sense.
And you were worried I was
It's a
gonna be
nice
the problem?
touch because it would have been easy to say Connor Kenway, which is incorrect. I'm able to see the stream still, Chris.
Okay. It just now, some odd reason, it like started doing a loading circle, and then I wasn't here. Like you cut off.
Oh, you must
I
have
was like-
you must have issues on your end then.
Yeah, like I might like I thought my internet went out. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I kind of missed what you said when you were talking about the magic card, how they use his Native American name, and
I was saying that it would have been easy to just use Connor and call it that.
Yeah.
But they chose to actually be correct.
I mean, and especially in games after this entry, where you get to have access to the other the other costumes and
You're right.
outfits
Yeah.
from the previous game
that's nothing.
protagonists, and they just call it these are
Here.
Connor's robes, like this.
Yeah.
I should stop the bleeding.
They don't use his Anglo-Saxon like name. They use his
wasn't
actual
necessary.
name
Right.
in the cards. I think it's a very nice touch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
move
No,
on.
it's
Meet me at Braddock's camp when you're ready.
pretty damn cool.
We're gonna help her kill Braddock. We got new Animus emails to read.
Whoopee.
Where's our next objective, guys? Where's the next objective? We are not gonna get to the actual protagonist of this game.
No, because this is such a fucking long preamble. Like, hey, remember how you were saying earlier? It's like, I don't need everything explained to me.
Yes.
Do you think they're over-explaining much, or do you think maybe they could have trimmed some fat here?
Maybe. But this is also like this is also common amongst games of this generation.
Yeah.
Like The Last of Us is also several hours too long.
I'm gonna say that's a different generation there, buddy. Because
That's true, but like
this is a game from 2008.
that's true. But like no, The Last of Us was a PS3 game.
Or 2012.
Last was
my
a
bad.
PS3. You got
yeah.
remastered on the PS4 and remastered again on
forgot-
PS5.
I fucking
But it is a
forgot
PS3
that-
game.
I fucking forgot that Last of Us was a PS3 game. I genuinely forgot about that. I was like, no,
Yeah,
it's
like
a
this was a thing
PS4.
that a lot of games did in that day, and frankly, they still do. A lot of games are
Fuck.
overly padded and a little too long.
Fuck.
Like a lot of games are too long. Most
played
AAA
through the
games
la-
are too long.
I played through The Last of Us.
Back in the PS3 days, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that just reminds me of the fact, like, because I know I'm not the only one that's done this, where I gave you that realization of, like,
The Twisted Metal.
no,
yes.
it was, this happened back in 2023, and I remember that specifically. I told you Twisted Metal from the PS3 is a 10-year-old game, and you were like, oh my god, it is!
Yes. That happened to you just now with The Last of Us, huh?
At least for me, it was like I knew Last of Us was old, but I forgot entirely that it was a PS3 game.
Yeah, it was a PS3 game, and then they got a PS4 re-release,
Fucking
and then a
Christ.
PS5 re-release. It's been
Yeah,
re-released twice.
I don't even. I just,
Execution is everything.
Use the snowstorm to mask your approach.
shit. I just randomly
Having
wanted to
second
look up. I
thoughts?
was like, okay, Last of Us.
Hardly.
I wonder if it was on sale or not.
I'll
And I
have to
see
approach
that.
this carefully.
Oh, they
Go on then. I'll keep watch
they
from
made
here.
Little Big Planet 2 Last of Us mini pack.
They sure
They got-
did.
Costumes for Joel and Ellie in Little Big Planet.
I can hide in that cart.